this mess. Get out of here. We don't have anywhere to go. You saved me. Everything is gonna change now. How? How did you find me?
Move this dirty cart before my rich customers start stepping over poverty. Vanessa Cole's voice sliced through the Atlanta market before Maya Johnson could sell her first orange. Maya froze behind the small wooden cart, both hands gripping the handle like it was the last thing holding her life together. The sun was already hot. The pavement steamed. Expensive cars rolled past the curb. Women in clean white shoes walked out of boutiques with gold bags on their arms. Men in suits held iced coffee and looked at Maya like she was dirt on the sidewalk. Her yellow dress was faded. Her sandals were cracked. Her orange cart leaned on one broken wheel. But under the oranges, hidden inside a brown paper bag, was the reason she could not leave. Caleb Johnson's clinic receipt. Payment overdue. Medicine needed today. Miss Cole, please, Maya said. I'm not blocking anyone. I just need to sell enough for my brother's medicine. Vanessa stepped closer, her red heels sharp against the concrete. Her white blazer was spotless. Her gold earrings flashed in the morning light. Her badge said Market Operations Manager, but her smile said Judge, Jury, and Punishment. Your brother is not my responsibility. A few people slowed down. 2 young women lifted their phones. A man in a blue suit laughed into his cup. Maya felt every eye on her. She lowered her voice. I paid the vendor fee last week. You told me to bring cash. I brought $40. The market went quiet. Vanessa's face hardened. Careful, girl. Maya swallowed. I am only saying I did what you asked. Vanessa turned toward the crowd with a loud, ugly laugh. Did you hear that? This street seller is accusing me now. No, Maya said quickly. I'm not accusing you. Vanessa snatched an orange from the cart and held it up like proof of crime. First they bring dirty fruit, then they bring lies. She squeezed the orange until juice ran down her fingers, then dropped it onto the pavement. That is where trash belongs. The crowd made a low sound. Not pity, enjoyment. Someone whispered, she should have stayed in her neighborhood. Maya bent down to pick up the orange, but Vanessa's heel touched the ground near her hand. Leave it. Maya stopped. Her fingers trembled inches from a fruit. She wanted to scream. She wanted to tell them she had washed every orange before sunrise. She wanted to tell them Caleb had coughed so hard last night that he cried without making sound. But poor people learned early that pain did not become truth just because it was spoken. Maya stood slowly. Around her wrist was an old bronze bracelet, scratched and dull, almost too small now. It had belonged to her mother, Grace Johnson. When the world made Maya feel worthless, she touched that bracelet and remembered her mother's voice. Keep your heart clean, even when the world is dirty. Vanessa noticed the movement. Her eyes dropped to the bracelet. What is that cheap thing? Maya pulled her hand back. It was my mother's. Vanessa smirked. Then your mother left you nothing useful. Maya's face changed. The insult hit deeper than the ruined orange. Please do not talk about my mother. Silence fell. Short, sharp, dangerous. Vanessa leaned in. You do not tell me what to do in my market. For 1 second, a fruit vendor across the walkway stepped forward. Miss Cole, maybe let the girl sell until noon. Maya looked at him, hope rising like a match in the dark. Vanessa turned her head slowly. Do you want your stall inspected next? The man's mouth closed. He stepped back. The match went out. The phone stayed up. The crowd chose power. They always did. Vanessa lifted her hand. Security. 2 guards in black uniforms moved toward the cart. Maya rushed in front of it. No, please, do not take it. One guard grabbed the handle. The broken wool screamed as he pulled. Maya held on with both hands. Please, sir. Those oranges are all I have. Vanessa folded her arms. You should have thought about that before embarrassing yourself here. Maya grabbed the brown paper bag and pulled out the clinic receipt. Her hand shook so badly the paper rattled. Look at it. His name is Caleb Johnson. He is 12. He needs medicine today. Please, just let me sell until noon. Vanessa did not look. She slapped the receipt from Maya's hand. It fell near a puddle of dirty water. I did not read sob stories. Maya dropped to her knees and snatched the paper before it got soaked. Please, she whispered. Please do not do this. I have nobody else. A woman in pearls stepped back, so Maya's hand would not touch her shoe. A boy laughed. A man kept recording. The guard yanked the cart again. A crate tipped over. Oranges spilled across the pavement, rolling under shoes, under tires, under the silver SUV parked at the curb. Maya crawled after them. Stop. Please stop. That is my brother's medicine. Vanessa pointed toward the alley. Drag it away. The guards pulled harder. The old wheel snapped. The cart crashed sideways. The last oranges burst free and scattered into the street. A car horn blared. The crowd gasped, then laughed when Maya reached for a bruised orange like it was gold. She pressed it to her chest. Juice stained her dress. Tears fell down her face, but she kept whispering, Caleb, I am sorry. I am so sorry. Behind the crowd, a black luxury sedan slowed near the curb. Nobody noticed it. Nobody cared. Inside sat an elderly black woman in a torn gray coat and faded headscarf. To the market, she looked like a beggar. To Vanessa, she would have looked invisible. But the woman was not watching the oranges. She was watching Maya's wrist, the bronze bracelet. Her breathing changed. Her hand moved under her ragged sleeve, touching another bracelet that looked almost the same. Her eyes filled with a shock she could not hide. Outside, Vanessa gave one last cruel smile. Some people need to learn where they belong. Maya sat on the ground with the wet clinic receipt in one hand and 3 ruined oranges in the other. The cart was gone. The crowd began to move away. The show was over. Then the rear door of the black sedan opened. The elderly woman in the gray coat stepped out, weak and shaking. She pushed through the same people who had laughed at Maya. She stopped beside the ruined oranges, looked once more at the bracelet on Maya's wrist, and suddenly collapsed at Maya's feet. Her hand reached upward. Her voice came out thin, hungry, and broken. Please, I have not eaten today. The old woman collapsed beside the ruined oranges, and Maya Johnson moved before anyone else even bent down. She forgot the broken cart. She forgot Vanessa Cole. She forgot the phones pointed at her face. All she saw was an elderly black woman on the hot pavement. One hand pressed to her stomach, her lips dry, her gray coat torn at the sleeve. Maya dropped to her knees beside her. Ma'am, can you hear me? The woman opened her eyes, just a little. The crowd stepped back. Not to make room, to stay clean. A woman in pearls whispered, Do not touch her. You do not know where she has been. Vanessa Cole folded her arms and looked down at both of them like they were trash spilled from the same bag. Perfect, she said. One beggar feeding another beggar. Maya looked at the oranges scattered across the pavement. Most were bruised. One had split open under a shoe. Only one orange was still clean enough to eat. It was the orange she had hoped to sell for Caleb's medicine. Maya picked it up with shaking fingers. She wiped it on the side of her faded yellow dress. As she began to peel it, Vanessa snapped, Do not do that here. Maya did not raise her voice. She is hungry, and your brother is sick, Vanessa said coldly. So choose wisely. The words cut deep. Maya's fingers stopped for half a second. Caleb's clinic receipt was still crushed in her other hand. His name was there. Caleb Johnson, 12 years old. Medicine needed today. Maya looked at the old woman's trembling mouth. Then she broke the orange into small pieces. My brother would not want me to let someone starve, she whispered. She placed one piece near the woman's lips. The old woman ate slowly. Her eyes stayed on Maya's face, then moved to Maya's wrist. The old bronze bracelet caught the sunlight. Scratched, dull, almost worthless to anyone else. But the old woman stared at it like it had opened a grave inside her memory. Her breath changed. Maya noticed. Are you hurt? The woman did not answer at first. Her fingers lifted, weak but urgent. That bracelet, she whispered. Maya pulled her wrist closer to her chest. It was my mother's. Vanessa gave a sharp laugh. Now the street woman wants the poor girl's jewelry. A few people laughed with her, but not as loud as before. Something about the old woman's stare made the market feel uneasy. Maya shook her head. She's not asking for it. The old woman swallowed. What was your mother's name? Maya hesitated. The question was too personal, too sudden, too strange. Vanessa stepped forward. Do not answer her. Pick up your dirty fruit and leave. Maya looked down at the old woman again. There was hunger in her face, but there was something else too. Pain, recognition, fear. Grace, Maya said softly. Her name was Grace Johnson. The old woman's hand froze in the air. Her eyes filled with tears so fast that Maya felt her own chest tighten. Grace, the woman repeated, barely breathing. Vanessa's smile faded for 1 second. She did not understand the name, but she understood danger. Attention was slipping out of her hands. She clapped sharply. Security. I said remove them. One guard stepped closer. Maya shifted in front of the old woman. She was still on her knees. Her dress was stained with orange juice. Her hands were dirty. Her receipt was bent and wet at the corner. Across the curb, a black luxury sedan sat with its engine running. Its paint was smooth and dark. Its windows were tinted. Its tires looked worth more than Maya's whole apartment. That car belonged to another world. Clean leather, cold air, quiet money. Maya belonged to the ground, the dust, the broken wheel, and the bill she could not pay. Yet the old woman from that car kept looking at Maya like Maya was the one holding power. If you're listening from anywhere in the world, tell me who you believe right now. The poor girl who gave away her last orange, or the woman with power who tried to silence her. Because sometimes the truth starts with the person everyone ignores. The old woman reached under her torn sleeve. Maya saw a flash of bronze. Just a flash. Another bracelet. Almost the same shape. Almost the same color. Then the woman quickly covered it again. Maya's eyes widened. You have one too? The old woman looked away. I had one, she said. A long time ago. Vanessa cut in. Enough of this nonsense. She pointed at Maya's ruined cart being dragged toward the alley. You have lost your spot. You have lost your cart. Now leave before I call Officer Reed. Maya stood slowly, but she did not move away from the old woman. Please. She cannot walk. Vanessa stepped close, lowering her voice so only Maya could hear. If you keep protecting trash, people will treat you like trash. Maya's lips trembled. She wanted to answer. She wanted to be brave. But bravery did not buy medicine. Bravery did not stop eviction. Bravery did not bring her mother back. The old woman suddenly grabbed Maya's wrist with surprising strength. Her eyes locked onto the bracelet. Who gave Grace this? Maya's heart jumped. My mother had it before I was born. No, the old woman whispered. There were only two. The market noise seemed to fall away. Vanessa stared at them now, no longer amused. The guard stopped moving. Even the phones lowered a little. Maya looked from her bracelet to the hidden sleeve of the old woman. What do you mean, only two? The old woman's face turned pale with memory. Then a phone began ringing inside the black sedan. A deep male voice came through the open door. Mother, where are you? The old woman closed her eyes, still holding Maya's wrist, and whispered, Do not tell him yet. Do not tell him yet. The old woman's whisper would not leave Maya Johnson's mind. Even after the black sedan pulled away from the market. Even after Vanessa Cole ordered the guards to drag Maya's broken cart into the alley. Even after the crowd stopped laughing and went back to buying coffee, shoes, and flowers like nothing had happened. Maya stood there with 3 bruised oranges, a wet clinic receipt, and one question burning in her chest. Why did that woman know Grace Johnson's name? Move, Vanessa said behind her. Your little show is over. Maya turned once, hoping to see the old woman again, but the sedan was already gone. Only the smell of orange juice stayed on the pavement. Only the broken wool stayed near the curb. Only Maya stayed poor. She picked up the clinic receipt, folded it carefully, and held it like it was a living thing. Caleb needed medicine today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Please let me take my cart, Maya said to the guard. I can fix it. The guard looked at Vanessa. Vanessa smiled. She has nothing to fix. Maya wanted to answer, but her throat closed. She walked away with the plastic bag, cutting into her fingers. Behind her, expensive cars rolled past the market entrance. A woman stepped from a boutique with a gold shopping bag almost the size of Maya's grocery sack. A man tossed half a sandwich into a trash can. Maya looked at it for 1 second, then looked away. She still had dignity, even when dignity was all she had left. By the time she reached her apartment building, the afternoon heat had soaked through her dress. The hallway smelled like damp walls and old cooking oil. The elevator was broken again. Maya climbed 3 flights slowly, one hand on the rail, the other hand protecting the oranges like they were medicine bottles. Then she saw the yellow paper taped across her door. Final warning. Rent due in 24 hours. Her breath stopped. From inside the room, Caleb coughed. Dry. Deep. Too long. Maya ripped the notice down and opened the door. Caleb Johnson lay on a thin mattress near the window, wrapped in a blanket even though the room was warm. His school books were stacked beside him, but he was too weak to read. When he saw the bruised oranges, he tried to smile. You sold the rest. Maya set the bag on the table and turned her face away. Not today. Caleb looked at her dress. Orange juice. Dust. A dark scrape on one knee. His smile disappeared. Miss Cole again. Maya sat beside him and touched his forehead. It was hot. Too hot. Do not worry about her. I worry about you, Caleb whispered. You always come home smaller after that market. Maya closed her eyes. That sentence hurt more than any insult from Vanessa. A knock came softly at the door. Mrs. Denise Brooks entered with a small covered bowl and worry all over her face. Baby, the clinic called while you were gone. Maya stood fast. What did they say? Mrs. Denise looked at Caleb first, then back at Maya. They said the discount expired. The medicine costs more now. The room became very quiet. Even Caleb stopped moving. Maya opened the clinic receipt with shaking hands. The number at the bottom looked bigger than the whole room. Bigger than rent. Bigger than food. Bigger than her broken cart. I can go back, Maya said, but her voice had no strength. I can sell the bruised one somewhere else. Mrs. Denise shook her head gently. Not tonight. Officer Reed was asking vendors questions after you left. Vanessa is making it worse. Caleb tried to sit up. Maya, I can wait. No, her answer came fast. You cannot. Then sell Mom's bracelet. Maya's hand went straight to her wrist. The old bronze bracelet felt warm against her skin. For a second, she saw the old woman's eyes again. The shock, the tears, the hidden bracelet under the gray sleeve. I cannot sell this, Maya whispered. Caleb looked ashamed. I only said it because I hate seeing you scared. Maya softened. She took his hand. This bracelet is the last piece of Mama. And today, someone looked at it like it was more than that. Mrs. Denise froze. Somewhat, Maya reached for the old photo box under the table. A woman at the market. She asked about Mama. Mrs. Denise's face changed. What kind of woman? Old, poor-looking, hungry. But there was a black car waiting for her. Mrs. Denise said nothing. That silence made Maya's fingers move faster. She opened the photo box. Church papers, a faded scarf, an old bus ticket, then the burned corner photograph. Maya pulled it out and held it under the weak window light. Grace Johnson stood near a hospital entrance, younger, tired, smiling. Beside her was another woman, partly damaged by the burn mark. Maya had looked at that picture many times and missed the smallest thing. The other woman's wrist. Bronze. Same pattern. Same shape. Caleb leaned forward. That is the same bracelet. Maya could barely breathe. There are only 2, she whispered. Tiny hope entered the room. Small, dangerous hope. Maybe her mother had not been forgotten. Maybe the woman at the market knew something. Maybe Grace Johnson's kindness had left a door open somewhere. Then the hope broke. Maya's cracked phone buzzed. The landlord's number. She answered. A hard voice came through. 24 hours, Maya. Then the lock changes. The call ended. Caleb turned his face to the wall. Mrs. Denise covered her mouth. Maya stood in the middle of the room with the photo in one hand and the eviction notice in the other. Poor in both hands. Past in one, fear in the other. Across town, inside a quiet office high above Atlanta, Marcus Carter looked at a photo on his phone. It showed Maya kneeling at the market, feeding the old woman an orange. His jaw tightened. Find out who Grace Johnson was, he told his assistant. And find out why my mother said that name. Back in the apartment, another knock came. Not soft like Mrs. Denise. Firm. Official. Maya stepped to the door and looked through the peephole. A man in a dark suit stood in the hallway, holding a sealed envelope. On the front, written in clean black letters, was her full name, Maya Grace Johnson. The sealed envelope on Maya Johnson's floor carried a name that made the whole room feel colder. Maya Grace Johnson. Not just Maya. Not just Johnson. Her mother's name sat in the middle like a secret someone had pulled from the grave. Maya kept the chain on the door and stared at the man in the dark suit through the narrow opening. "Who sent you?" she asked. The man held his hands where she could see them. "Mr. Marcus Carter asked me to deliver this." Mrs. Denise Brooks went still behind Maya. "Carter," she whispered. Caleb pushed himself up from the mattress, coughing into his blanket. "Maya, who is that?" Maya did not know. That scared her more. The hallway was dim. The paint was cracked. The floor smelled of damp carpet. But the man's suit looked expensive. His shoes were polished. His voice was too calm for a place where every knock usually meant rent, debt, or trouble. "Why does he know my full name?" Maya asked. The man glanced at the bracelet on her wrist. "Just once. Because his mother asked about Grace Johnson." Maya's breath caught. "The woman from the market?" The man did not answer. He placed the envelope on the floor and stepped back. "He said you should look at the photo. That is all." "Wait," Maya said. "Who is she?" The man paused near the stairs. "Someone who remembers what others forgot." Then he left. Maya closed the door and locked it twice. Her hand shook as she opened the envelope. Inside was a clean copy of an old photograph. Not the burned one from her mother's box. This one was clearer. Grace Johnson stood outside Grady Memorial Hospital in 2009. Her smile was tired. Her left arm was around a younger woman whose face Maya had seen only in damaged paper and market shadows. The woman wore a bronze bracelet. Same pattern, same shape. Maya touched her own wrist. "There were only two," she whispered. Caleb leaned forward. "That is the same lady?" "I do not know," Maya said, but her voice sounded weak. Mrs. Denise sat down slowly. "Baby, your mama never told you everything about that year." Maya turned to her. "Then tell me now." Mrs. Denise looked at Caleb, then at the eviction notice, then at the photo. "After that accident, Grace came home different. Quieter. She said if anyone ever came looking for the other bracelet, you should listen before you run." Maya felt the room tilt. "Why would I run?" Mrs. Denise's eyes filled with fear. "Because powerful people do not always bring peace." Across town, high above Atlanta, Marcus Carter stood in a glass office where the windows showed towers, traffic, and money moving like a river below. On his desk were two enlarged images. One showed Maya kneeling in the market, feeding an old woman a piece of orange. The other showed Grace Johnson outside Grady Memorial in 2009. Marcus pointed at the bracelets. "Same design." His assistant nodded. "Almost identical." "Almost." The older photo is clearer. There's a small mark inside the metal. A maker's stamp. Marcus leaned closer. "Find the maker." "Already started." "And the hospital records?" The assistant's face tightened. "That is the problem. The accident file exists. Grace Johnson's name appears once. Then the witness statement is missing." Marcus looked up. "Missing. Removed or never scanned." Marcus's jaw hardened. Records do not disappear by themselves. In the private sitting room below, Evelyn Carter sat alone with the torn gray coat folded beside her. Without the scarf, she looked different. Still tired. Still shaken. But not like a beggar. Her hand rested over the bracelet hidden beneath her sleeve. Marcus entered quietly. "Mother, why did you ask me not to tell him?" Evelyn did not look at him. "Because some debts are too heavy for a son to carry before he knows the truth." "Then tell me the truth." Her eyes moved to Grace's photograph. "Not yet." The two words landed like a locked door. Back in the apartment, Maya kept staring at the photo. Tiny hope tried to rise inside her. Maybe her mother had mattered to someone. Maybe Grace had not died as invisible as the world made her seem. Maybe this bracelet was not just memory. Maybe it was proof. Then Caleb coughed so hard the hope cracked. Maya rushed to him. "Breathe slow." "Please, Caleb." He gripped her hand. "Do not give him the bracelet." "I will not." "Promise." "I promise." Her cracked phone buzzed on the table. Unknown number. Maya answered, keeping one hand on Caleb's back. A woman spoke softly. "Miss Johnson, this is from the records office assisting Mr. Carter. We are checking a hospital file from 2009. Maya stood still. What file? Papers rustled. Your mother may have signed a witness statement after a bus accident. Maya's voice dropped. May have. The woman hesitated. The page with her statement is gone. Silence filled the poor room. Then Mrs. Denise whispered, Gone means someone took it. Before Maya could answer, the call cut off. No wudbye. No explanation. Just dead air. Across the market, Vanessa Cole sat in her office with the morning security footage frozen on her computer. Maya was on the ground. Evelyn was beside her. The bracelet was visible on Maya's wrist. Vanessa replayed the moment again and again until her smile disappeared. She picked up her phone. Officer Reed, she said, her voice tight. That orange seller is becoming a problem. She listened, then looked at the paused image of Maya's bracelet. No, do not wait. Tomorrow morning, I want her removed before the Carter people ask questions. No, do not wait. Tomorrow morning, I want her removed before the Carter people ask questions. Vanessa Cole ended the call and kept staring at the frozen security footage. On the screen, Maya Johnson was kneeling beside the ruined oranges, feeding the old woman in the gray coat. The old woman's hand was close to Maya's wrist. The bronze bracelet was clear under the market camera. Vanessa leaned closer. Her smile disappeared. So that is what she noticed, she whispered. By sunrise, Maya was already awake in the small apartment. Caleb lay on the thin mattress near the window, breathing through another rough cough. The eviction notice sat on the table. The clinic receipt sat beside it. The old photograph of Grace Johnson was hidden inside Maya's bag, wrapped in a plastic sleeve. Maya tied a scarf around her wrist to cover the bracelet. Caleb watched her with tired eyes. Are you going back? Maya nodded. I have to sell something. Miss Cole hates you. Medicine costs more than fear. Caleb reached for her hand. Then do not let her see the bracelet. Maya kissed his forehead. I promise. Mrs. Denise Brooks met Maya in the hallway with a small basket of oranges. Take these, she said. Sell them quick and come home. Maya's eyes filled. I cannot pay you now. Mrs. Denise pushed the basket into her hands. Pay me by keeping that boy alive. Maya walked to the market with no cart, no permit, no protection, and no room left for shame. Rich customers were already stepping from clean cars. Boutique doors opened. Coffee cups passed from hand to hand. The world looked polished again. Maya stood near the outer sidewalk with a cardboard sign. Fresh oranges. Please help. She stayed outside the entrance. She kept her head down. She wanted no trouble. But Vanessa was already waiting. She came out with Officer Reed and 2 guards behind her. Papers were in her hand. Phones lifted before anyone even knew what was happening. Vanessa raised her voice. There she is. The girl who harassed a vulnerable woman yesterday. Maya looked up stunned. Harassed. Vanessa held up the papers. You are banned from this market area. I am on the public sidewalk. You are close enough to damage our reputation. A man in a suit laughed. A woman whispered, Is that the girl from yesterday? Another voice said, I heard she tried to steal jewelry from an old beggar. Maya's face went cold with humiliation. That is a lie. Vanessa stepped closer. Then why did you hide your wrist? Maya's hand moved to the scarf before she could stop herself. Vanessa noticed. Officer Reed noticed. The crowd noticed. Because it was my mother's, Maya said. Because you mocked it yesterday. Vanessa smiled. Or because you knew it did not belong to you. Maya's voice broke. Do not say that. Poor girls do not walk around with mysterious family treasures unless there is a story to sell. Maya looked at Officer Reed. Sir, please. I fed that woman. I did not steal from her. I did not touch anything. Officer Reed held the papers, but his eyes were not as hard as Vanessa wanted them to be. Miss Johnson, I need to understand what happened. For one small second, Maya felt heard. Just 1 second. Then Vanessa cut in. There is nothing to understand. She uses pity. Sick brother. Dead mother. Now the bracelet. The words struck Maya in public again. Phones rose higher. A teenager whispered, This is going online. Maya hugged the orange basket to her chest. Please, I just need to sell enough for Caleb's medicine. He is 12. Vanessa pointed at the basket. Confiscated. One guard reached for it. Maya pulled back. No, these are not even mine. The guard took the basket anyway. Oranges rolled onto the sidewalk for the second time in 2 days. Maya fell to her knees, gathering them before shoes crushed them. Please, these belong to Mrs. Denise. Vanessa looked down at her. Everything around you becomes a problem. A young cashier near the flower stand suddenly spoke. Miss Cole, I saw her yesterday. She helped the old woman. Vanessa turned slowly. Do you want to keep your job? The cashier's lips trembled. She looked at the phones. She looked at Officer Reed. Then she lowered her eyes. Tiny hope died in silence. Maya stood with 2 oranges in her hands. I'm not a thief. Vanessa leaned close enough that only Maya could hear her next words. Keep talking, and your brother's clinic will hear that you are under investigation. Maya's whole body froze. Leave Caleb out of this. Then leave the market. Across town, Marcus Carter stood in his office, studying still images from the market camera. His assistant placed a tablet on the desk. The file from yesterday has a gap. Marcus looked up. A gap. 7 minutes missing. Right after your mother touched Maya's bracelet. Marcus stared at the screen. Who accessed it? The assistant hesitated. Someone from the market operations office. Marcus did not speak for a moment. Then he looked at the enlarged photo of Grace Johnson beside the hospital. Do not accuse anyone yet. Get the original source. Back at the sidewalk, Officer Reed glanced at Vanessa's complaint form. His forehead tightened. Miss Cole, this says the complaint was filed at 7:15 this morning. Vanessa's smile stiffened. Correct. Officer Reed looked at Maya's scattered oranges. But she arrived after 8. The crowd grew quiet. Vanessa recovered fast. Patterns of behavior do not need a clock. Maya looked up. For one breath, she thought the lie might crack. Then Vanessa stepped forward and grabbed the scarf around Maya's wrist. Let's see what she is hiding. Maya pulled back. Do not touch my mother's bracelet. The scarf slipped loose. The bronze band flashed in the sun. The cashier gasped softly and whispered. That is what the old woman looked at. Vanessa's eyes sharpened. Officer Reed's radio crackled. Reed, hold position. Someone is requesting the original footage from market management. Vanessa's face turned pale for half a second. Then she smiled at Maya like a warning. You should have stayed invisible. At that moment, the black sedan from yesterday stopped across the street, its dark window lowering just enough for someone inside to see Maya's uncovered bracelet. The black sedan stopped across the street, and the dark window lowered just enough for someone inside to see Maya Johnson's uncovered bracelet. The whole market seemed to hold its breath. Maya stood frozen with 2 bruised oranges in her hands. Vanessa Cole stood in front of her, still holding the loose scarf she had pulled from Maya's wrist. Officer Reed held the complaint papers. The young cashier stood near the flower stand, shaking with her phone hidden against her chest. Inside the sedan, Evelyn Carter did not step out. Her face stayed half covered in shadow, but her eyes locked on the bronze bracelet like the little piece of metal had reached into a wound she had buried for years. Maya saw the stare and felt fear rise inside her. She was still poor, still accused, still standing in public with no cart, no money, and Caleb's medicine slipping farther away. Vanessa forced a laugh. Look at that. Even the people in a fancy car do not want to touch your mess. Her voice tried to sound strong, but it cracked at the end. Officer Reed looked down at the complaint form again. Miss Cole, who filed this report? Vanessa lifted her chin. Market operations. That means your office. That means the market, she snapped. Maya swallowed hard. I did not steal from anyone. I only gave that woman food. Vanessa pointed at her wrist. Then explained why she looked at your bracelet like she knew it. Maya had no answer. That was what frightened her most. She did not know why a woman from a black luxury sedan had stared at her mother's bracelet. She did not know why Grace Johnson's name had suddenly become important. She did not know why every question seemed to make Vanessa angrier. The young cashier took one small step forward. I have something, she whispered. Vanessa turned fast. You have nothing. The girl flinched. Officer Reed looked at her. What do you have? The cashier raised her phone with trembling hands. A video from yesterday, before the market camera went missing for those minutes. The crowd went still. Vanessa's eyes sharpened. Put that phone away before you lose more than your shift. The cashier almost lowered it. Maya looked at her and whispered one word. Please. That word carried the broken cart, the ruined oranges, Caleb's cough, Grace's bracelet, the humiliation Maya had swallowed again and again. The cashier lifted the phone. She did not steal, the girl said. I saw it. Officer Reed stepped closer. Show me. The video was shaky, filmed from behind flower buckets, but it was clear enough. Maya was on the pavement. Oranges were scattered around her. She peeled the last clean orange with shaking fingers and fed the old woman piece by piece. The old woman reached toward Maya's bracelet. She did not grab it. She did not accuse her. She touched it like she recognized it. Then, for one brief second, the old woman's torn sleeve slipped back. Another bronze bracelet flashed beneath the gray cloth. Same shape, same pattern, same small hidden mark inside the metal. The market fell silent. A woman near the boutique whispered, "She really helped her." Maya's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, a piece of truth stood beside her in public. Not enough to save her, but enough to make the lies pause. Officer Reed looked at Vanessa. This does not show theft. Vanessa's jaw tightened. It shows contact. It shows kindness, Maya said softly. The words were small, but they reached the people standing closest to her. For one tiny moment, hope rose. Then Vanessa stepped in front of the phone. A blurry video does not clear her. Poor people know how to perform for sympathy. The hope cracked. The cashier shook her head. Miss Cole, that is not fair. Vanessa leaned toward her. Do you want to keep eating from this market? The cashier went quiet again. Power pushed truth back into fear. At that moment, Marcus Carter crossed the street from the black sedan. He did not rush. He did not shout. He only walked with the quiet control of a man used to rooms going silent when he entered. Vanessa straightened at once. Mr. Carter, this is a minor vendor issue. Marcus did not answer her first. He looked at the cashier's phone, then at Maya's bracelet, then at the complaint form in Officer Reed's hand. May I see the video? Vanessa said quickly, that is market-related material. The cashier whispered, it is my phone. Marcus looked at her. Then it is your choice. The girl hesitated, then handed it to him. Marcus watched the clip once. Then again. When the sleeve slipped back, he paused the screen. 2 bracelets. One on Maya, one on Evelyn. Same design, same hidden mark. Marcus's face changed for only a second, but Maya saw it. Vanessa saw it too. Where did you get this bracelet? Marcus asked. Maya's voice trembled. My mother, Grace Johnson. Marcus went still. Not enough for the crowd to understand. Enough for Vanessa to notice. Enough for Maya to feel that the name had struck something deep. If you're listening now, tell me what you think this bracelet means. Why would a poor orange seller and a woman hidden inside a black luxury sedan carry the same mark? And who is really afraid of this little piece of bronze? Marcus lowered the phone. This proves a connection, he said. Not the whole truth. Vanessa jumped on the words. Exactly. Not the whole truth. So remove her. Officer Reed did not move. I need to verify the complaint first. Vanessa's eyes flashed. You need to do your job. Maya's shoulders tightened. One small piece of proof had appeared, but she was still standing in the same shame. Caleb still needed medicine. Her rent was still due. Her cart was still gone. Marcus handed the phone back to the cashier. Keep the original video safe. Do not send it to anyone you do not trust. Then he looked at Maya's covered bag. Do you still have the old photograph of Grace Johnson? Maya held the bag closer. Yes. Then keep it with you. Vanessa's eyes locked on the bag. What photograph? Maya stepped back. Marcus kept his voice low. Miss Johnson, I need to compare the mark on that bracelet with an old hospital record from 2009. But one page is missing. Maya whispered, my mother's statement. Marcus looked at her carefully. You know about that? Before Maya could answer, Vanessa stepped between them. This conversation is over. Her phone buzzed. She glanced down too fast. The screen flashed one name before she turned it away. Records office. Officer Reed saw it. Marcus saw it. Maya saw it. Vanessa declined the call and smiled like nothing had happened, but her hand was shaking. Then the cashier's phone buzzed too. A new message appeared from an unknown number. The girl read it and went pale. She turned the screen toward Officer Reed. The message said, "Delete the video or lose everything." The market went cold. Marcus looked at Vanessa, but he still did not accuse her. Not yet. Across the street, the sedan window lowered another inch. Evelyn's voice came from inside, weak and careful. "Marcus." That was all she said. One name, one warning, one memory, try not to break open. Then Officer Reed's radio crackled, and a voice cut through the silence. Original footage located. It shows someone entering the camera room after midnight. Original footage located. It shows someone entering the camera room after midnight. Officer Reed's radio crackled, and the whole market seemed to stop breathing. Maya Johnson stood with her bracelet exposed, two bruised oranges in her hands, and shame still burning on her face. Vanessa Cole went still for 1 second. Only 1 second. Then she laughed. A shadow in a hallway is not proof. Her voice was sharp, but her fingers tightened around her phone. Marcus Carter looked at Officer Reed. "Who entered the room?" The radio hissed. "Angle is blocked. Badge access incomplete." Vanessa breathed again. There it is. Nothing. Just another little mystery for this girl to hide behind. Maya's shoulders dropped. One more door had opened, then closed in her face. The young cashier held her phone like it was a fragile piece of glass. The video was safe for now, but fear was all over her face. Across the street, the black sedan waited. Evelyn Carter sat behind the lowered window, quiet and pale, her eyes fixed on Maya's bracelet. She did not step out. She did not claim anything. She only whispered one word. "Marcus." Marcus heard the warning in his mother's voice, but he did not turn the market into a rescue scene. He simply stepped a little closer to Maya, enough to block the phones from filming her tears. "Miss Johnson," he said quietly, "you do not have to answer every question in front of a crowd." Maya looked at him with tired eyes. "People like me never get private questions." Marcus paused. "Then let this be the first." Vanessa laughed coldly. "How touching. A Carter making room for an orange seller." The crowd murmured. Maya felt the old shame return. Marcus had polished shoes, a dark suit, and a black sedan behind him. Maya had dusty sandals, an empty basket, and a sick brother waiting in a hot apartment. His world had tinted windows. Her world had unpaid bills. Officer Reed looked again at the complaint papers. "Until I review the footage and the report, I will not remove her on this complaint." It was not victory. It was not justice. But it was the first small shield Maya had been given all morning. Vanessa's eyes flashed. "You will regret hesitating." The young cashier took one step back, afraid Vanessa would turn on her again. Marcus looked at her phone. "Keep the original video safe," he said. "Send a copy to yourself first. Not to anyone who pressures you." The cashier nodded, hands shaking. "Yes, sir," Vanessa snapped. "Do you want your final paycheck in silence or in pieces?" Maya stepped forward before fear could stop her. "Do not punish her because she told the truth." Vanessa turned slowly. "You cannot even protect your own brother. Do not pretend you can protect anyone else." Maya went still. Caleb's name hit harder than any insult. Marcus saw her face change. "Your brother is sick?" Maya pulled her dignity around herself like a thin coat. "It is my responsibility." From a sedan, Evelyn's voice came softly. "What is his name?" Maya turned toward the dark window. "Why do you care?" Evelyn was quiet for a long moment. "Because yesterday, you were hungry too, but you still saw someone else." The sentence was simple. It did not reveal the past. It did not explain the bracelet. But it reached Maya in a place that had been tired for years. Maya looked down at the ruined oranges in her hands. "His name is Caleb." Evelyn closed her eyes as if the name itself hurt. Vanessa cut in fast. "This is not a church prayer circle. The girl is banned from my market." Officer Reed said, "The ban is under review." Vanessa's mouth tightened. "By whom?" Marcus answered, "By facts." The word landed cleanly. For one tiny moment, Maya felt seen. Not saved, not rich, just seen. Marcus turned to Officer Reed. "Her basket was taken during a disputed complaint. It should be returned until the complaint is verified." Officer Reed looked at the guard holding the empty basket. Then he nodded. The guard placed it near Maya's feet. "Empty. Useless." but no longer stolen from her. Maya picked it up with both hands. "Thank you," she whispered, though the words carried more pain than relief. Evelyn slowly extended a white handkerchief through the car window. She did not touch Maya. She did not reach for the bracelet. She only offered the cloth. "For your hands," she said. Maya looked at her fingers. "Orange juice. Dust. Shame. I will stain it." Evelyn's voice trembled, but stayed gentle. "Some stains prove you tried to help." Maya took it carefully. The softness of the cloth made her throat tighten. She wiped her fingers, then wrapped it around the bracelet, not to hide it this time, but to protect it. The young cashier whispered. She apologized for dirty hands after giving away her last orange. Evelyn looked away quickly, like a memory had touched her too hard. Marcus noticed, but said nothing. Vanessa saw the silence and hated it. Enough. She still has no cart, no permit, and no right to sell here. Maya looked down at the empty basket. Vanessa was right about one thing. The tiny protection had not fed Caleb. It had not paid rent. It had not restored her cart. Then Maya's cracked phone rang. Caleb's name flashed on the screen. She answered fast. "Caleb." His voice was weak. "Maya," the clinic called again. Maya's face drained. "What did they say?" "They said I need to come in today, or they may not hold the medicine request." Maya closed her eyes. The basket was back, but empty. The video was safe, but incomplete. The bracelet was protected, but unexplained. Marcus heard enough to lower his voice. "I can ask them to hold the request until today ends. Nothing more. No promises." Maya looked at him, torn between pride and fear. "I did not help your mother for payment." Marcus nodded. "I know. That is why I am asking permission, not buying gratitude." Maya's eyes filled. She gave one small nod. Then Caleb coughed into the phone and whispered, "Mrs. Denise found something behind Mom's old picture." Maya gripped the phone. "What?" Caleb's voice dropped. "A folded paper. It has the same mark as your bracelet." Evelyn made the smallest sound inside the sedan. Marcus turned sharply. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. Maya looked at the handkerchief around her wrist, as if the bracelet had become heavier. Then Caleb whispered, "And Maya, it has another name written beside Mama's." "And Maya, it has another name written beside Mama's." Caleb's weak voice came through the cracked phone, and Maya Johnson felt the market disappear around her. The empty basket hung from her hand. Evelyn Carter's white handkerchief covered the bronze bracelet on her wrist, but the metal beneath it suddenly felt heavy, like it was carrying a story her mother had died protecting. Marcus Carter stepped closer, his voice low. "Caleb, what name?" Paper rustled on the other end. Mrs. Denise Brooks was breathing fast in the background. Caleb coughed, then whispered, "It says Grace Johnson and Evelyn Carter." The sidewalk went silent. Maya slowly turned toward the black sedan. Evelyn sat behind the half-lowered window, her face pale, her hands locked together in her lap. Marcus looked at his mother. "Your name was on that paper?" Evelyn did not answer. Vanessa Cole laughed too quickly. "Old paper from a poor apartment does not prove anything." Maya looked at her, hurt and confused. Nobody said it proved anything. Vanessa's smile tightened. "Then do not act like it makes you special." Officer Reed stepped forward. "Let the boy finish." That small command made Vanessa's eyes flash, but she stayed quiet. Maya held the phone closer. "Caleb, where did Mrs. Denise find it?" Caleb breathed hard. "Behind Mom's old picture. Folded small. Taped to the back." Mrs. Denise took the phone, her voice shaking. "Baby, this paper looks like a hospital property note. Grady Memorial. Accident night. 2 bracelets listed. One returned to Grace Johnson. One held for Evelyn Carter." Evelyn closed her eyes. Her hand moved to her own wrist, where the matching bracelet rested under her sleeve. Marcus saw it. Maya saw it. The whole market seemed to feel it. 2 bracelets. 2 women. One night nobody had explained. Maya stepped toward the sedan. "Ma'am, did you know my mother?" Evelyn opened the car door slowly. She stepped out with the torn gray coat folded over one arm. Under it, her dress was dark, elegant, and expensive. The contrast made the crowd whisper. Yesterday, they had seen a beggar. Today, they saw power carrying the clothes of poverty like a confession. Evelyn looked at Maya with tears in her eyes. I remember your mother's voice before I remember her face. Maya's throat tightened. What does that mean? Evelyn stared past the market, as if the polished floor had become wet road and broken glass. There was an accident near Grady. Zan, screaming. People afraid to come close. I remember a woman holding my hand and saying, "Stay with me. You are not alone." Maya stopped breathing. That sounded like Grace. Poor Grace. Tired Grace. Grace who would help a stranger even when she had nothing. Marcus asked softly, "Mother, was that woman Grace Johnson?" Evelyn swallowed. "I believe so." Maya's eyes filled. "You believe so?" Evelyn flinched at the pain in her voice. "I was hurt. I was confused. When I woke later, I was told the woman who helped me had left before anyone could thank her." Mrs. Denise's voice came through the phone, sharper now. Grace did not leave because she wanted to. Everyone froze. Maya pressed the phone harder to her ear. "Mrs. Denise, what are you saying?" The older woman was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Your mama came home after that accident scared. She had bruises on her arms and fear in her eyes. She said powerful people were arguing at the hospital. She said someone wanted her statement changed." Marcus's face hardened, but he stayed controlled. "Changed how?" Mrs. Denise lowered her voice. "She never told me the full thing. She only said if Maya ever asked about the bracelet, I should tell her this. Kindness saved a life that night, but money buried the truth." The words struck the market into silence. Evelyn placed one hand on the car door to steady herself. Maya stood there with an empty basket, a sick brother on the phone, and a dead mother whose courage had been hidden under richer voices. Tiny hope rose inside her. Not bright, not easy, but real. Her mother had mattered. Her mother had not been invisible. Then Vanessa stepped forward and crushed the moment. "This is a beautiful performance," she said. "A sick child on a phone, a dead mother, a rich family name. Very emotional." Maya turned to her. "Why are you so angry about a paper you say means nothing?" Vanessa's mouth tightened. "Because liars become dangerous when people start clapping." The young cashier whispered, "No one is clapping." Vanessa snapped, "You are finished here." The cashier lowered her eyes, but she did not delete the video. Marcus spoke into his phone. "Send someone to verify the paper. Photograph it. Do not remove it. And no one enters the apartment without Maya's permission." Maya looked at him, still afraid, but grateful he had said permission. On the phone, Caleb coughed again. "Maya," he whispered, "there's writing on the back." Maya's heart pounded. "Read it." Paper moved. Caleb's voice became smaller. "It says if the second bracelet is questioned, find the person who signed the midnight transfer." Officer Reed repeated, "Midnight transfer?" Marcus looked at Evelyn. Evelyn covered her mouth. Maya whispered, "Is there a name?" Caleb breathed hard. "It is damaged. I can only see part of a signature. Not enough to read." Vanessa's face did not change, but her hand moved to her phone. Maya noticed. Marcus noticed. Officer Reed noticed. Then Mrs. Denise gasped through the line. "Maya, someone is knocking downstairs again." Maya's blood turned cold. "Do not open the door." Vanessa slid her phone in her pocket and looked back at Maya with a soft, dangerous smile. "You should go home, Orange Girl, before old papers cause new problems. You should go home, Orange Girl, before old papers cause new problems." Vanessa Cole's soft warning followed Maya Johnson through the market like cold fingers around her neck. Maya kept the cracked phone pressed to her ear. "Mrs. Denise, do not open the door," she said quickly. On the other end, Mrs. Denise Brooks whispered, "I already told Caleb to stay quiet." Caleb's weak breathing shook through the line. "Maya," the knocking stopped. That should have brought relief. It did not. Vanessa was smiling now. Not shouting. Not pointing. Just smiling like she already knew the next bad thing before Maya did. Marcus Carter watched Vanessa's face, then looked at Maya's bag where the old photograph was hidden. "Miss Johnson," he said quietly, "no one should enter your apartment without your permission." Maya looked at him with tired eyes. People keep saying permission like poor people are allowed to say no. Marcus did not answer fast. That truth was too heavy for a quick reply. Vanessa laughed softly. "Listen to her. One rich man speaks kindly. and now she thinks she is untouchable. The crowd murmured. Phone stayed up. Maya felt shame rise again, hot and familiar. Marcus had questions. Officer Reed had doubts. The cashier had a video. But Vanessa still had the market, the papers, the guards, and the louder voice. Then Officer Reed's phone rang. He listened, and his face changed. Miss Johnson, he said slowly, there's a report from your building. Maya's stomach dropped. My building? Vanessa stepped forward before he could explain. She held a printed form like it was already the truth. My market cash box is missing. Maya stared at her. What? And according to this transfer slip, Vanessa said, lifting the paper higher, you signed it out yesterday. The crowd reacted before Maya could breathe. A woman near the boutique whispered, first the bracelet, now money? A man raised his phone higher. I knew that poor girl was hiding something. Maya shook her head. I never touched your cash box. Vanessa tilted her head. You also said you never wanted anything from the old woman. Yet every time we look closer, another story appears. I gave her food, Maya said. You performed, Vanessa replied. There is a difference. Officer Reed took the slip and frowned. When was this reported missing? Vanessa's smile stayed fixed. This morning. What time? Does that matter? Marcus answered before Reed could. When someone is being accused, time always matters. Vanessa's eyes flashed. This is my market, Mr. Carter. Not your courtroom. Maya's phone buzzed against her cheek. Caleb was still on the line, his voice suddenly scared. Maya, someone slid something under the door. Maya went cold. Do not touch it. Paper rustled anyway. Mrs. Denise gasped. It is a receipt from the market office. Vanessa looked almost pleased. Maya whispered, what does it say? Caleb read slowly. Each word coming out like a stone dropped into water. Cash box transfer. Signed Maya Johnson. The market broke into whispers. She lied. She used the sick brother story. Maybe the bracelet is stolen too. Maya stepped back. Her eyes filled, but her voice stayed clear. I did not sign that. Vanessa moved closer. Then why is your name in your apartment? Because someone put it there. Poor girls always blame someone else. Officer Reed lifted one hand. Enough, but the damage was already spreading. The crowd believed the clean paper faster than they had believed Maya's tears. Vanessa had a form. Maya had fear. The young cashier stepped forward, trembling. She was here when that report was filed. I saw her. Vanessa turned. You do not work here anymore. The cashier went silent, but she did not step back. Tiny hope sparked. Then Caleb whispered through the phone, Maya, the signature is wrong. Maya froze. What? You make the J different. I know you're writing. Marcus leaned slightly toward the phone. Say that again, Caleb. Vanessa snapped. A sick child is not evidence. The hope cracked, but it did not vanish. Marcus looked at Officer Reed. The original slip should be preserved. Vanessa cut in fast. The original is in my office, and it will be reviewed at the proper time. Bring it now. Officer Reed said. For 1 second, Vanessa hesitated. Just 1 second. Maya saw it. Marcus saw it. The cashier saw it. Then Vanessa smiled again. No, I will not let an orange seller turn my market into a circus. Tomorrow, at the public vendor hearing, she can explain everything in front of the board. Maya's face drained. A hearing. Vanessa raised her voice so everyone could hear. Yes, the cash box, the bracelet, the missing paper, the sick brother, the dead mother. Let the whole market decide what kind of woman you are. Phones lifted higher. The trap opened wide. Vanessa did not want a private truth. She wanted public burial. Maya clutched the phone. My brother needs me. Vanessa leaned close, her voice low enough to cut deeper. Then you should have stayed invisible. Mrs. Denise suddenly cried out through the phone. Maya, the old paper is gone. Maya stopped breathing. Gone. It was on the table. I turned toward the door for 1 moment. Now it is gone. Vanessa's face softened with victory. How convenient. Maya looked around and the room blurred. Grace's hidden paper was gone. A false receipt had appeared. Caleb was scared. The crowd was judging. Officer Reed stepped closer, pained but formal. Miss Johnson, I need you to come answer questions. Maya looked at Marcus, but he still did not have the missing page. He had suspicion. Suspicion could not save her from a stage built for shame. Across the street, Evelyn Carter gripped the car door with old fear in her eyes. Then Marcus's assistant rushed from the black sedan with a tablet. He stopped beside Marcus and spoke low. "Sir." Caleb took a photo of the paper before it disappeared. Marcus looked at the screen. The image was shaky. Grace Johnson's name was clear. Evelyn Carter's name was clear. The hospital mark was clear. The final line was damaged, but one detail stood out: the same midnight transfer code used on the archived record. Vanessa stood behind them, smiling at Maya, unaware of what Marcus had seen. "Tomorrow," Vanessa said, "everyone will know what you really are." At that moment, the market doors opened, and workers carried in the banner for the public vendor hearing. The market doors opened behind Vanessa Cole, and workers carried the public vendor hearing banner into the hall. Vanessa looked at Maya Johnson and smiled like she had just built a stage for her shame. "Perfect timing," she said softly. "Now everyone can see what kind of girl you really are." Maya stood on the sidewalk with an empty basket in one hand and her cracked phone in the other. Evelyn Carter's white handkerchief covered the bronze bracelet on her wrist. Caleb's weak breathing still came through the phone. Marcus Carter's assistant held a tablet close to his chest, but he did not show the screen to the crowd. Not yet. On it was the photo Caleb had taken before Grace Johnson's old paper disappeared. The bottom line was damaged. No full name. No clear initials. Only the same midnight transfer code Marcus had seen on the archived record. Enough to raise a question. Not enough to finish the truth. Vanessa lifted her voice. "Since Miss Johnson wants attention, let's give her a room full of witnesses." Maya's face burned. "I never wanted this." Vanessa turned to the crowd. "Thieves never want witnesses until they need pity." Phones rose. Vendors whispered. Rich customers moved closer to the glass doors. The same people who had ignored Maya's hunger now leaned in to feed on her humiliation. Marcus looked at the banner, then at Vanessa. "If this is going to be public, then it will be fair." Vanessa laughed. "Fair? This is my market." Marcus answered, calm and low. "Then stop using the market as a weapon." The room went quiet. Inside the hall, folding chairs were lined in rows. A long table stood at the front. A blank screen hung behind it. The air smelled of coffee, polished floors, and fear. Maya stepped inside slowly. Her sandals made almost no sound. Vanessa's heels clicked like a judge's gavel. Officer Reed stood near the sidewall, holding the complaint papers. The young cashier stood near the flower stand, trembling, her phone hidden in both hands. Evelyn entered last, still carrying the torn gray coat over her arm. The crowd shifted when they saw her. Some recognized money before they knew her name. Vanessa saw that shift and hated it. She walked to the front table and placed the fake transfer slip down hard. "Let us begin with facts," she said. "A cash box is missing. A transfer slip has Maya Johnson's name. A bracelet of unknown origin is involved. And now we have a sick child, a dead mother, and a story designed to make fools of decent people." Maya flinched, but she stayed standing. "My brother is not part of your show." Vanessa smiled. "He became part of it when you used him for sympathy." Caleb's voice came through the phone, weak but clear. "She did not use me." The hall froze. Maya whispered, "Caleb, save your strength." "No," he said. "She always saves mine." A few vendors lowered their eyes. Mrs. Denise Brooks spoke from the apartment, her voice shaking. "That signature is not Maya's. I have seen that child write her name since she was 10. Vanessa rolled her eyes. A neighbor, a sick boy, and an orange seller. What a legal team. Marcus placed the tablet on the table, screen still facing down. "No one here is declaring guilt today." Vanessa leaned forward. "Then why are you here?" "Because someone keeps hiding the pieces." A sharp silence followed. Officer Reed looked at Vanessa. The young cashier lifted her phone. "I still have the video from yesterday." Vanessa turned toward her. "You're already fired." The cashier swallowed. "Then I can finally speak without losing more." Tiny hope moved through the room. Maya felt it, small and warm, but she was afraid to trust it. The screen was still blank. The original footage was still not playing. Grace's paper was still missing. Vanessa still had the louder voice. Evelyn's eyes stayed on Maya's covered bracelet. Grace gave kindness when no one was watching, Evelyn said softly. That matters. Vanessa snapped. Kindness does not erase theft. Maya looked up, tears in her eyes, but her voice steady. I gave an old woman my last orange. If that is the only thing you can prove, then prove it. The room went still again. If you're listening right now, tell me who deserves justice in this room. The girl who gave away her last orange, or the woman who keeps trying to bury her voice? Because the truth is standing at the edge of this screen, waiting for one brave person to press play. Vanessa stepped toward the table and reached for the tablet. Marcus placed his hand over it. Do not touch that. Her smile thinned. You are protecting a thief. No, Marcus said. I am protecting evidence. Officer Reed moved closer. Miss Cole stepped back. Vanessa's face tightened. The crowd saw it. For the first time, they saw fear beneath her confidence. Then the main doors opened again. Marcus's assistant rushed in with a sealed folder and a small drive. He was breathing hard. Original camera file, he said, and the archive transfer log from 2009. The hall went silent. Maya gripped her phone. Caleb stopped coughing for one fragile second. Evelyn's hand tightened around the gray coat. Vanessa's lips parted, but no words came out. Marcus took the drive and walked toward the blank screen. Before anyone judges Maya Johnson, he said, turning to the room, watch what was removed. The screen flickered white, then black, then the first frozen frame appeared. The screen flickered white, then black, then the first frozen frame appeared. The whole market hall went silent. Maya Johnson stood near the front with her empty basket pressed against her faded dress. Evelyn Carter's white handkerchief still covered the bronze bracelet on her wrist. Vanessa Cole stood beside the table with her chin raised, but her fingers were tight around the edge of the fake transfer slip. Marcus Carter held the remote and looked at the crowd. Watch and order, he said. Vanessa laughed too fast. This is theater. Marcus did not blink. No, this is what someone removed. He pressed play. The first clip showed the market hallway after midnight. The camera room door opened. A woman in a white blazer stepped inside with a key card. Her face was turned away, but her red heels were clear. Her gold earrings were clear. Her market operations badge was clear. Officer Reed leaned forward. Pause it. Marcus paused the frame. The badge number filled the screen. Vanessa Cole. The room changed. Phones lowered. Rich customers stopped whispering. Vendors looked at one another. Maya did not smile. She only held the empty basket tighter, as if her body still expected another insult. Vanessa lifted her hand. Managers enter camera rooms all the time. Marcus nodded once. That is true. He pressed play again. On the screen, Vanessa stood at the camera console. She removed a drive. She looked over her shoulder. Then she slid the drive into her bag. The timestamp read 12:18 a.m. A woman near the back whispered, "Why would she do that?" Vanessa snapped, "Because it is my job." Marcus clicked to the next file. The missing 7 minutes appeared. Maya was on the pavement. Oranges were crushed around her. She peeled the last clean one with shaking fingers and fed Evelyn piece by piece. Evelyn's hand reached toward Maya's bracelet. Not grabbing, not fighting, recognizing. Then Evelyn's torn sleeve slipped back. A second bronze bracelet flashed on her wrist. Same pattern, same hidden mark. The hall fell into a deeper silence. Maya stared at the screen with tears in her eyes. Her shame was being shown to everyone, but this time it was not entertainment. This time it was evidence. The young cashier whispered. She helped her. Evelyn stepped forward, her voice soft but steady. She gave me food when she had almost nothing. Vanessa turned on her. Mrs. Carter, you were confused. Evelyn looked straight at her. I was hungry. I was not blind. The words landed like thunder without noise. Marcus moved to the next file. The screen showed Vanessa's office at 6:42 that morning. A metal cash box sat on her desk. Vanessa opened a folder. She placed a transfer slip inside. Then she practiced a signature on a blank sheet. Maya Johnson. 3 times. Slow. Careful. The crowd gasped. Caleb's weak voice came through Maya's phone. That is not her, Jay. Mrs. Denise Brooks added, shaking with anger. That child has written her name the same way since she was 10. Vanessa pointed at the screen. That angle is distorted. Officer Reed answered, your lie is not. Vanessa stepped back. For the first time, no one moved with her. Marcus placed the fake transfer slip beside the pause video. Maya did not sign this. Maya closed her eyes. One tear fell. She had said the same thing again and again, but the room only believed it when the screen said it for her. Marcus opened the sealed folder. Now, the hospital records. Vanessa's face went pale. You have no right to open those here. Evelyn placed the torn gray coat on the table. I gave him that right. The crowd turned toward her. She touched her own bracelet. 15 years ago, after the accident near Grady Memorial, 2 bronze bracelets were recorded. One was mine. One was returned to Grace Johnson. Marcus laid down the archived transfer log. Then Caleb's photo of Grace's hidden paper. Same date. Same hospital mark. Same reference number. Maya covered her mouth. Mama was telling the truth. Evelyn's eyes filled. Your mother held my hand when everyone else stood back. The room stayed still. Even the people who had laughed at Maya looked down. Marcus turned another page. Grace Johnson's witness statement was removed from the file after midnight. Vanessa whispered, stop. Marcus looked at her. You had years to stop. He read the line clearly. Temporary records manager, Vanessa Cole. The room lost its air. Vanessa's voice cracked. I was young. I did what I was told. Officer Reed stared at her. So you knew Grace Johnson's statement existed. Vanessa shook her head. This is being twisted. The young cashier stepped forward, trembling. You told me to delete the video. Officer Reed turned. Say it again. The cashier held up her phone. She told me to delete it. Then I got this message. The threat appeared on the screen. Delete the video or lose everything. Nobody laughed now. Nobody recorded for fun now. Their phones were down. Their faces were lowered. Vanessa pointed at Maya with a shaking hand. She still used this story for sympathy. Maya finally spoke very softly. I did not know the story. That was all. 5 words. They broke the room more than any speech could have. Evelyn stepped beside Maya and slowly placed her bronze bracelet on the table. Maya removed the white handkerchief and placed her wrist beside it. 2 bracelets. Same pattern. Same hidden mark. 2 women. 1 buried night. 1 daughter who had carried the proof without knowing it. Marcus looked at Vanessa. His voice stayed calm. If Maya was lying, how did you know to steal Grace Johnson's paper before she ever brought it here? Vanessa opened her mouth. No answer came. Officer Reed picked up the forged slip, then looked around the hall. This hearing is no longer about Maya Johnson. He turned fully toward Vanessa. It is about who used power to bury Grace Johnson, frame her daughter, and silence anyone who tried to tell the truth. Vanessa stood under every stare she had once aimed at Maya. Then Marcus opened the final page of the transfer log and placed it in front of her. Before moral justice begins, he said, tell this room who ordered you to remove Grace's statement. Before moral justice begins, Marcus Carter said, tell this room who ordered you to remove Grace's statement. Vanessa Cole stood at the front of the market hall with every eye fixed on her. The forged cash box slip lay on the table. The archived transfer log lay beside it. The restored footage still glowed on the screen behind her. And between Maya Johnson and Evelyn Carter, the 2 bronze bracelets rested side by side under the white lights. For years, Vanessa had used rooms like this to make poor people feel small. Now the room gave her nothing. No laughter, no whisper of support, no friendly face to hide behind. Vanessa lifted her chin, but her voice had lost its blade. I was following instructions. Officer Reed stepped closer. Whose instructions? Vanessa looked at the vendors. She looked at the customers. She looked at the young cashier. She looked at Evelyn. She looked at Maya. Nobody moved toward her. Nobody saved her from the silence she had created. You do not understand, Vanessa said. Back then, I was just a records clerk. I did what powerful people told me to do. Marcus placed one hand on the forged slip. And this morning, Vanessa blinked. What? Who told you to write Maya Johnson's name on a cash box slip? The room went colder. Vanessa shook her head. I did not forge anything. Caleb's weak voice came through Maya's phone. That is not her, Jay. Mrs. Denise Brooks followed, firm through her tears. Grace taught Maya to write her name like it mattered. That signature is not hers. Maya stood with her empty basket held against her faded dress. She did not smile. She did not clap back. She did not enjoy Vanessa's fall. She only breathed like someone who had been underwater for years and was finally allowed to come up. Vanessa pointed at her. She wanted sympathy. She wanted money. She used all of you. Maya looked at her with tired eyes. I wanted to sell oranges. The sentence was small. It broke the room anyway. The woman in pearls lowered her head. The man who had filmed Maya crying put his phone down. The fruit vendor covered his face with one hand. Evelyn stepped forward, holding the torn gray coat she had worn the day before. Yesterday, I sat on the ground looking like a woman with nothing. Maya saw me as human. You saw me as trash. Vanessa's face twisted. Mrs. Carter, please. I did not know it was you. Evelyn's voice trembled, but it stayed clear. That is exactly why it matters. Nobody spoke. That was the second piece of karma. Vanessa had not been judged by someone richer than her. She had been judged by what she did when she thought no one important was watching. Officer Reed picked up the forged slip, the threat message printed from the cashier's phone, and the camera room still. These will be preserved and submitted for formal review. Vanessa stepped back. You cannot do this in front of everyone. Officer Reed looked at her. You accused Maya in front of everyone. The words landed clean and heavy. Not revenge. Balance. Vanessa turned toward the vendor board. If I fall, this market falls. I am the one who keeps order here. The fruit vendor finally raised his head. No, we were afraid because of you. A low murmur moved through the room. Not applause. Agreement. The young cashier wiped her face. You told me to delete the video. Vanessa snapped. You were angry because you lost your job. Marcus looked at the cashier. No one loses their job today for preserving evidence. The girl's shoulders lifted a little. Fear lost another inch of ground. Marcus turned to the vendor board. His voice stayed calm. Pending formal investigation, Vanessa Cole is suspended from market operations effective immediately. Vanessa froze. You cannot remove me. Evelyn placed her hand on the table beside the two bracelets. This market operates on Carter Foundation property. Shock moved through the room like wind through open doors. Vanessa's badge suddenly looked small on her white blazer. One board official stepped forward. He did not touch her. He did not shame her with force. He only held out his hand. Miss Cole, your access badge. Vanessa stared at him. This is not over. Marco-san said, no, it is finally being handled correctly. Her fingers shook as she unclipped the badge. The small metallic snap filled the hall. Maya heard it clearly. It sounded like the lock on a cage opening. Vanessa looked down at the empty place on her blazer. The power she had used to crush others was gone from her chest. Then the room turned, slowly, painfully, toward Maya. The woman in pearls stepped forward first. Miss Johnson, she said, her voice shaking, I am sorry. I laughed when I should have helped. Maya looked at her for a long moment. She did not rush to comfort her. She did not smile to clean the woman's guilt. She only said, I heard every laugh. The woman lowered her eyes. That was dignity. Quiet. Sharp. Earned. The fruit vendor stepped closer. I should have spoken for you. Maya looked at him too. Yes, she said softly. You should have. He bowed his head. No one argued. No one called Maya rude. No one asked the wounded person to make the room feel better. Officer Reed faced Maya. Miss Johnson, the cash box complaint is withdrawn from this hearing. You are not under suspicion based on the evidence shown here. Maya's knees weakened. Marcus moved as if to help, then stopped. May I steady you? He asked. That small question made Evelyn cover her mouth. Maya nodded once. Marcus touched her arm gently, only long enough for her to stand. Then he let go. He did not own the moment. He protected it. Caleb whispered through the phone. Maya, did they believe you? Maya pressed the phone to her chest and cried without hiding it. Yes, she whispered. They finally believed me. Evelyn picked up Grace Johnson's photograph and placed it in Maya's hands. Your mother's statement will be restored to the archive. Her name will not stay buried. Maya stared at Grace's face. She died with people thinking she was nobody. Evelyn shook her head. No, she lived as someone who saved a life. Vanessa tried one last time, softer now. I can apologize. I can repair the cart. Just do not make this bigger. The young cashier looked at her through tears. It was already big when Maya was the one crying. No one defended Vanessa. No one repeated her lies. No one called Maya dirty. Marcus gathered the records into the sealed folder. The legal process will handle the forged documents. The board will handle the market. Today, this room will remember what silence did. He placed one clean page on the table in front of Maya. This is temporary protection for your vendor property and the pending clinic request for Caleb. It is not a reward. It is not a gift. It is the first correction. Maya looked at the page, overwhelmed but still cautious. So, nothing else gets taken tonight? Marcus answered, not without someone answering for it. Evelyn lifted the torn gray coat and held it close. Maya, Caleb is waiting. The market doors opened to the evening light. The black sedan waited outside. Maya looked at the two bracelets, the empty basket, and the photograph of Grace in her hands. Inside the phone, Caleb whispered, "Are you coming home?" Evelyn's voice was gentle, full of tears and unfinished healing. "Come with me to Caleb," she said. "It is time kindness came back to your door." "Come with me to Caleb," Evelyn Carter said. "It is time kindness came back to your door." Maya Johnson stood outside the market hall with Grace Johnson's photograph in one hand and the first correction document in the other. The evening light touched her face, but she still looked like a girl who had spent too many years expecting pain. Her basket was empty. Her cart was not yet fixed. Her dress still carried dust and orange stains. But the laughter was gone. The phones were lowered. The same people who had watched her fall now stepped aside in silence. Vanessa Cole no longer stood at the front of the room. Her badge was gone. Her voice was gone. Her power had been placed into a sealed folder with the lies she had used. Maya looked at the black sedan waiting outside, then at her cracked phone. Caleb's breathing came softly through the speaker. "Maya," he whispered, "are you coming home?" Maya pressed the phone close to her heart. "Yes," she said, her voice breaking. "I am coming home." The ride back was quiet. Maya sat in the soft leather seat with her hands folded tightly in her lap. She did not lean back. She did not relax. Clean things still made her nervous, because life had taught her that comfort could be taken away without warning. Evelyn sat beside her, holding the torn gray coat. Marcus Carter sat across from them with the restored file on his knees. Nobody filled the silence with big promises. Nobody told Maya to stop crying. Outside the window, Atlanta moved past in gold and shadow. Boutiques, bus stops, glass towers, old sidewalks. The same city that had watched her crawl for ruined oranges now carried her home. But Maya did not feel rich. She felt tired. She felt careful. She felt like hope was something she had to hold with both hands. Evelyn looked at her gently. "You do not have to trust all of this tonight." Maya touched the handkerchief around her bracelet. "I do not know how to live when help does not come with a trap." Evelyn's eyes filled. "Then we start with one honest step." When the sedan stopped outside Maya's apartment building, Caleb was waiting near the entrance, wrapped in a blanket beside Mrs. Denise Brooks. He looked small under the hallway light. Too small. But when he saw Maya, his face opened with relief. "Maya!" She ran to him before anyone could speak. The papers slipped against her chest. The empty basket fell near the door. She wrapped both arms around Caleb and held him as if the world had tried to steal him and failed. Caleb buried his face in her shoulder. "You came back." Maya closed her eyes. "I will always come back." Mrs. Denise wiped her tears with her sleeve. "Grace, your baby's made it." Evelyn heard those words and stopped walking. For a moment, she did not look like a powerful woman. She looked like someone standing in front of a debt no money could repay. Caleb looked at her from Maya's arms. "Are you the lady Maya gave the orange to?" Evelyn nodded. "Yes." Caleb studied her with tired eyes. "She gives people food, even when we do not have enough." Evelyn's voice broke. "I know." Marcus stepped forward slowly. "The clinic will hold Caleb's medicine request tonight. A doctor will see him before the file closes. Maya looked at him. Thank you. Marcus shook his head. This is not charity. This is correction. Maya lowered her eyes, and the tears came again. Not for shame this time. From release. Inside the apartment, nothing looked new yet. The walls were still cracked. The table still wobbled. The eviction notice still lay near the edge like a threat that had not learned it was losing. But beside it, Marcus placed the temporary protection document. Evelyn placed Grace's photograph in the center of the table. Maya removed the white handkerchief and laid her bronze bracelet beside Evelyn's. 2 bracelets. Same pattern. Same hidden mark. One had crossed wealth and guilt. One had crossed hunger and humiliation. Together, they no longer looked like a mystery. They looked like proof that truth can survive in small things. Caleb touched the photograph gently. Mama saved your life? Evelyn nodded. Yes, and your sister reminded me how Grace lived. Maya stared at her mother's face. I thought Mama died forgotten. Evelyn reached toward her hand, then stopped and waited. Maya nodded. Evelyn took her hand gently. Not anymore. The next morning, Maya returned to the market. Not to beg, not to explain, not to stand under Vanessa's shadow. She returned because honest work had never been her shame. Near the entrance, her repaired cart waited with a clean wooden sign. Grace's Oranges. It was not a mansion. It was not a crown. It was not sudden riches. It was something better for Maya. It was a place she could stand without lowering her head. The fruit vendor carried a crate for her. The young cashier brought fresh paper bags. Mrs. Denise sat beside Caleb in the shade, watching him smile for the first time in days. The woman in pearls stepped forward with money in her hand. 1 orange, she said softly, and an apology. Maya handed her the fruit. She did not bow. She did not rush to make the woman feel better. She simply said, thank you. Simple, calm, free. In the weeks that followed, the changes came one by one, not like magic, but like doors finally opening. Caleb received steady care. Grace Johnson's witness statement was restored to the archive with her name where it belonged. Vanessa never managed the market again and faced the formal consequences of the records she altered and the people she tried to silence. Maya and Caleb moved into a clean, safe home through a legal correction fund created in Grace's name. Mrs. Denise received the key because family is not always blood. Maya kept selling oranges, but now she sold them from a legal vendor space, with her mother's photograph placed inside the cart where she could see it every morning. One afternoon, a little girl with dusty shoes stopped in front of Grace's Oranges. She stared at the fruit, but had no money. Maya picked up the brightest orange, peeled it slowly, and gave half to the child. Caleb smiled from beside the stand. You're doing it again. Maya touched the old bronze bracelet on her wrist. It was polished now, but still scratched. Still Grace's. Still real. Evelyn stood nearby with quiet tears in her eyes. Maya smiled softly. No, she said. I am continuing what Mama started. The little girl ate the orange under the warm Atlanta sun. No one laughed. No one called it begging. No one called kindness dirty. That was Maya's new life. Not just a repaired card. Not just medicine. Not just safer walls. She had her name back. Her mother's truth back. Her brother's future back. Her own dignity back. So remember this. Never look down on the poor because their hands are dusty. Never judge a person by a torn dress, an old cart, or a basket of fruit. Truth can be delayed, but it cannot stay buried forever. Evil may wear a badge, a blazer, or a smile, but it will still answer for what it does. And kindness, even when it comes from empty hands, will one day be seen by the right eyes.